Bantu FM.
I'm an African, yeah.
Bantu FM.
I'm an African,
By the people, for the people.
Welcome to the Black Panther Corner with General Mellie. Peace and power, family. How's everybody doing today? First, I would like to start out by saying salute to our political prisoners and our families locked in their gulages. Please reach out to these brothers and sisters and help and support as much as possible. They need to be home with us, with their families. It's time for them to be home. Salute to all black media platforms that are bringing us the truth, fighting against this misinformation that we're receiving out here today. We want to say salute and thank you all for all your hard work. Salute to Sister Bantu Queen with Bantu FM Radio, broadcasting out of Zambia with African news, music, culture, everything. We want to stay globally connected with our family, our brothers and sisters. Support, donate. Brother Noble and our family in Colorado, salute to those brothers and sisters up there that are building African-centered institutions and communities that we need right now. So today, comrades and family, we have a special guest that is joining us. I'm very honored to have him today. We want to introduce to the show Comrade Dadaji Odinga. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, that was better than the last time. Almost perfect, but we gonna work on it. It's
okay, so I want you to pronounce your name for us, and we want you to start off by telling us who you are, giving us a little of your background, your history, and then we're gonna go on into our conversation. Okay?
Okay, no problem. My name is Dadaji Odinga. I am the son of the great Sekou Abdullah Odinga. What else do you want me to do? You want to know?
We want to know where your childhood, how you started, and how you got into this revolutionary fight, and on up to your entrepreneurship, and then we're gonna start from there.
Okay. Well, first of all, I was born into this revolution. My father is the great Sekou Odinga, and he most known for helping in the freeing of our queen, Assata Shakur. And so I guess she want to know about my early childhood, she said, right?
Yes.
Okay, well,
just tell us about you. Tell us who you are. We want to get to know you, and then we're gonna go from there.
Okay, well, I was raised as a son of Sekou Odinga and Deshanto Early. My mother was and still is one of the greatest and strongest women I ever met in my life. And she always kept good men around me. So I've been honored only through her hard work to understand how important it is for us as men to become strong men. You understand what I'm saying? So
most definitely.
So first, and a lot of times we don't really understand how strong our women are. So I want to give a special shout out to my mother, who allowed my father to come into her life. So I want to give a shout out to that she picked a strong man in order to raise her children. So I just wanted to say that. My first schooling was the Institute of African Learning. It was a revolutionary school, and by the time I was in third grade, it got shut down. The government shut it down. And actually, that's where I learned my formal, my first learning. And even to today, the things that I learned there have stuck more with me than the things I've learned in 12th grade. So
back then they had like revolutionary institutions where they weren't trying to shut them down from the start. They did have those in place. That's working with the Black Panthers, right?
Well, this particular school, I'm sure they probably was trying to shut it down from the beginning. You know, you got to remember, I don't know much about the particulars of why things went on the way they did at the school back then, because I was a child. You know, it was just natural for me to go to that type of school. And the people that I were around, the families that I were around, they went to that school and schools like that also. If they weren't going there, they was going to an Islamic school, so forth and so on. So I thought it was normal until the school got shut down. Once the school got shut down, I realized that this wasn't the norm, because I had to go to public school. And once I went to public school, my life pretty much started changing. In a lot of ways.
Because being in the African centered schooling, right? Because I did want to touch on that, but being in that environment and the children being raised, everybody being raised in that kind of curriculum, that had you all with a different self-love and pride about yourselves, right?
No question.
School system.
No question. You know, even today, I look at a lot of people that, a lot of my friends and a lot of females that I've dealt with, and they don't really love themselves. They don't really they don't have that self-love. Like, you know, that I thought, like, I love who I am. I loved my black skin, and I love my big nose, and I love being black. I love being African. You know, I love being New African, whatever 3 terms y'all want to use. I love being that. I love being that. You know, I never wanted to be light skinned. I never wanted to be, you know, I never wanted to be white. I never wanted to be anybody but who we are. You know, I've always, that's how I was raised. And I realized when I went to public school that people were the opposite of that. Like, blacks were the opposite of that. And it kind of surprised me, and I went through a cultural shock.
Because they didn't love themselves as much as you did, right?
Not only that, they showed it. Now, I ain't talking about what they showed it. Like, when I came to the school, I was obviously a different person than 90-something% of the people, blacks in my school.
Yeah.
I came to school, I had an afro, I had dashiki on, unapologetic.
Look, you spoke with your head held high, looked them in their eyes. You see what I'm saying? Just a whole different vibe, and that's what we are missing now. Because that's what I wanted to touch on. Because, like, with you all being raised around the Panthers, and people say that it's militant. I don't think that it's militant. I feel like being born an African child as a person in this country, we have to be taught like that.
Can I stop you for a second?
Go ahead.
What's wrong with being militant? Why we gotta be apologetic about being militant?
I'm telling you, they tell me all the time, you too militant, you too mean, and I'm like,
all right, so I'm asking you, and asking still, what is wrong with being militant? I just want to know that part. Like, okay, don't be apologetic about being militant. We live in oppressive times. Maybe if more people heard the term militant, more people thought that we should be militant, maybe we would be militant. So don't be apologetic about being militant. We live in bad and crazy times. You better be militant. So what's wrong with being militant? And militant is not a bad word. It don't mean oppress. It don't mean racist. It don't mean all these terms. I don't know what they want to give it, but shit, we've been not militant for a long time.
Yes, that's the whole
we
thing.
should be more militant. Maybe if we were more militant, maybe we would be doing things like the things that the Panthers did in the '60s, and would be policing the police. If we need the police need policing more now than they did in the '60s.
Thank you. Somebody, they wanted to argue with me the other day and say that right now I feel like now with this mental slavery, it's worse than being in chains. Because in chains, at least you knew when your punishment was going to come and when it's over with. This mental slavery has us in a bad situation. And I think we are more messed up and more people are under this today than it was back then. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, firstly, the reason why I always say that it was better back then, because people understood what was going on. Now the same exact things are going on, but people don't understand it the way it is. You know, people don't look at police brutality as something that is all the way human. Like we have become used to being oppressed, and we have become content with being oppressed. So that's a big problem for us now. This is why we don't have people fighting. You know, people are starting to fight, just realizing and understanding that we need to be fighting and fight. And there's many avenues to fight. And the fighting don't always mean physical, because I believe that there's a time for physical fight, and I believe that there's time for mental fight, and I believe that there's a time for oral fight, and et cetera, et cetera. You know, even though I believe that we definitely it's time for physical, but before physical there's another fight before that. And I think that's the stage that we're in. We should be in a physical fight, but we're not in a position to physically fight.
Yeah, because I think we're working on that mental and that spiritual part, because that's another thing I wanted to touch on, because with us being in this state, do you think we'll ever get back to that love in the community, how we looked at each other as family? Because we do need that right now, to stand with each other. And then I want to go on into your business ventures.
Okay, listen.
Supporting each other. Go ahead.
Right. Listen, we do love each other, and you see it more and more every day. And if you love them, even though they may not love you or know that they should love you, it's your job to help them understand that. So sometimes you got to be more patient with them than they is with you. Because they have an excuse for what they're doing. You don't have an excuse, because they have ignorance. They don't understand that they should love me and that we need to unify and be together. But because you understand it, you have fought more when you react the way they react. You know? So I believe that, these times that we in right now, especially these times with this, what was the guy name? What was the guy name that was the president?
Talking about Trump.
Yeah, yeah, Donald Trump. I thank him. I thank him for showing blacks in America that they still hate us, that they still think of us the same way. Because a lot of us forgot. I was talking to some people, they was like, "Damn, I didn't even realize that some of the same things that they talk about in books, they doing right now."
Oh man, see that's crazy to me, because I look at it as they're in denial.
It's not crazy,
because how can you not see?
It's not crazy to you. It's not crazy to you, because I heard you say before something about that. It's not crazy to you, but what it is that it has become so normalized that it seems crazy, even though this is how the people think. We all know how they think. We know how we think, because we've been around it all our lives. People think that they can go vote and that they're going to be cool. People think if they vote for whatever the new guy is, rather than the old guy, that's going to be some change for the Africans here in America. They think that if they send their child to college and the child get a job in corporate America, that they have made it, that they are free, that they are cool, that they found the way, like we are all equal. When it's just the opposite. As long as we work for them, as long as we depend on them, we will always be at the bottom of the totem pole. We will always be slaves to them. And that's their job. Their job, and they're doing a damn, I respect them. See, I'm different than a lot of people. Oh, they ain't shit. They ain't nothing. They ain't this, they ain't that. But no, you got to give props when props is due. You know, and if you don't look at them the way they need to be looked at, we're going to continue to be tricked by them.
I look at them as, well, I guess I look at it differently. But this is my thing. What gave you the strength to step out and, like, do what you're doing? Being an entrepreneur, having that faith in yourself and your abilities, because a lot of us don't have that, and that's what's stopping us.
Yeah, well, I guess it's a lot of my parents and the experience I've been through in life. My experiences in life make me who I am today. No questions, no other way to look at it than that. My experiences in life is what make me the way I am today. I know and understand that my mother, who did it all the right ways, and when I say the right ways, I mean the quote-unquote American ways, did it all the right ways, and she still wasn't successful, and she still was treated like a nigga. No matter what she did, my mother got all these degrees, master, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, they still did what they wanted to do to her and treated her the way they wanted to treat her. So I said, wait a minute, hold up. My mother taught me that I should be independent. My mother taught me that we should have our own. My mother taught us that we boom, boom, boom. And now I see it through her actions that even though she did all this time, she still wasn't successful in that area. And when I mean successful, I mean have the great American dream. That's what I mean. I don't mean that she wasn't successful as a human being, as a woman, as a black woman, et cetera, et cetera. But we talking about the great American way. And this is our problem. We're tricked to think that we are a part of the great American way. So when you like that, we fall in the areas that we need to be rising in. And that's creating our own land, our own money, our own education, our own hospitals, and the list could go on and on. Anytime your enemy control you, they got control of you.
Exactly.
Period.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real simple. If I work for Michael got a big control of my life. If I work for Michael from the time I'm 5 to the time I'm 75, Michael made a lot of money for his next 3 generations. And Michael is home, spending time raising his family, teaching his family how they want to be raised and taught. While I make him the money to educate his children the way he want them educated. And it's just a whole...
The American nightmare.
Yeah, so...
Because other people come over here from other countries and they do the same thing off the backs of us. Like, I want you to get into, like I say, with you stepping out and coming, with your, you're the juice man in Philly. So we want to hear about
your company and how we got started, because we know it's a history behind the name. And just tell us, how you got that started and everything, because you might inspire somebody to do this. We need more. We need more.
Like I said, my life experiences. See, one thing I realized that my mother and my father taught me, and it ain't like they set me down and said, no, just listening to them, hearing them, watching them, and all these different things help. That's a form of education also. And one thing I've learned is that we have to have our own. We have to have our own to be truly successful. Truly successful, we got to have our own. We got to control our own financial situation. So, through my experiences, along with what my parents taught me, I realized that I had to have my own. And when I say my experiences, I have been in prison. And when I was in prison, and after I came home and try to do it the right way, as they say, I realized that the right way wasn't meant for me. Because every time, and that was part of their plan, and that's a whole nother subject. But part of their plan is for us to go to prison, and so that when we come home, that we will not be able to maneuver in their society successfully. So that's yet another bridge that we will have to cross to be successful, which could be done, but it's another extra hard step to climb. And that's all part of the thing.
And you have to pay them in that step, because I have been touched by that also, that criminalization being a black in America. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's all part of it. And so I decided, after trying to get a job and doing these things and trying to do this and do that, that they were not going to allow me to get a job unless it was at McDonald's. And I'm not talking bad about nobody working at McDonald's, but I think you understand my point. So I said, you know what? I looked at things that we needed in our community, and at the time I knew a friend who had their own business. And they were talking to me, and he was like, yo, you good at doing it, you cook, you blah, 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 you do it. I think that one of the things that would be good for you to do is juice. You like juice, blah, blah, blah. So I decided that I started making juice. I just started making juices. I took them $50, $60, bought some bottles, bought some fruit, and I created a juice. I created my own juice. I started selling 20 a day. The next thing you know, I started selling 50 a day. The next thing I know, some stores wanted to start picking them up. And then the next thing you know, I was selling 100 juices a day. But before I really decided to make this juice, I really looked at some things that we needed. And like I said before, and I realized that every store that we went into, everything that I drank had fructose this and corn this and all these different names that I couldn't even understand. So I said and that was part of the reason why I decided to make this natural juice. So I started a natural strawberry juice company, and I did it little by little off the sweats and the brows of myself and people who love me, and they helped me through it. And some of the same of these people that they call the worst of people are the people who helped make me successful today. Because when I started, I told you I started with nothing, $50, bought a case of strawberries and a case of pineapples, and cut them up and blah blah, and created a juice, wasted money, and boom boom boom. And once I started, a friend of mine that I had known for about 15 to 20 years, and he was doing things, and he was living a certain way and this and that. And he said, man, I respect that you're doing the right thing. And he gave me $1,000. same bad black person that everybody, he said, I respect what you're doing. And said, man, I hope you keep doing it because you're doing a lot for us. And gave me $1,000. No, nothing. Never said nothing to me about it again. Nothing. Just gave me $1,000. And I was able to do more.
Expand. That's what's
more.
Up. That's what's up. And see, that's just reaching back. You see what I'm saying? That was simply reaching back.
Yeah. So that's how I started.
That's love right there. And see, that's what I don't understand why like I said, we working on it. We working on it. I wanted to ask you that, like, being that you have been in this revolutionary game for, as long as you have and been fighting this fight for so long, do you see a turn of how our people are responding? Because, like, during the 60s and 70s when the original Panthers were out, it was a lot of support from the communities, and it has gotten away from that. But I've talked to some people, and they say that they can see that it's changing again. Do you see that change as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And not only do I just think that, the reason why people haven't supported us is because we haven't given them nothing to support. We haven't given them nothing to support. So it's not that our people don't support us. It's just that we ain't giving them nothing to support. And I'm specifically talking about men. We haven't really given them nothing to support. Every time I turn around, when there's something to support, I see support for my people. So I think that's a trick that people say that we don't get no support and this and that. What reason have we given them to support us?
Yeah.
What reason? So we have to give, and specifically men, we have to give them a reason to support us. And that's also a whole nother issue because it's reasons why it's like that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it an excuse for us not to do the things that need to be done in order to be supported. We are the protectors of the community. Men are the protectors of the community. Women are the protectors of the family.
Wow.
And we ain't protecting our community. If we don't protect our community, why should you look up to me?
Yeah, why?
Let people come in and do whatever. We ain't setting the standards for our own communities. Men are not setting the standards for our own communities. And as long as we are not setting the standards for our own community, we're going to have this problem because that's the natural way of things.
And that's that divine feminine and that divine masculine finding that correct balance.
Women got to play too. Women are playing parts that they shouldn't have to play.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's something that needs to be talked about too. So now you hear a woman talking about, I don't need no dad. My child don't need no dad.
And that's
I see, because it's deeper than that. So I really don't blame the African woman here in America for saying that. Now, if you're in another country and things are not the way they are today, because that's all part of a plan that they put in place that we see the results of now. You understand what I'm saying? So
yeah, I can feel you because I was a part of that era where I felt like, hey, I don't need a man. I'm the one paying my bills. I'm the one. But that's farthest from the truth because if you don't have that man in the household, that's how we lose that connection with our children. That's how our children keep.
I was getting to a deeper point. The deeper point is that they came up with a plan in the 60s and early 70s so that the women would not respect the men today. That's all part of a plan. See, so it's deeper than just men ain't not doing this and women not just doing this or women aren't doing this. It's the plan that was put in place, and this is why we got to study our recent history. Because in order for us to be successful in any type of movement, we have to understand the mistakes of the past and understand what's going on and understand where we need to be. And a lot of times we ain't really So here it is, we'll fall into the same mistakes that our recent past fell into, because we don't understand that they were mistakes that they fell into.
Manipulation, because one thing, that feminist stuff is not for black women at all. So, yeah, I can understand it totally. And you still haven't told us about Akbar Originals.
Okay, all right. The name of my juice company is Akbar Originals, and we had got into it, and then we just like moved on to something else. But the name of my juice company is called Akbar Originals. I make a fresh strawberry juice, and I make all kinds of strawberry juice: strawberry pineapple, strawberry mango, strawberry pear, strawberry blueberry, strawberry ginger, strawberry peach, strawberry coconut, strawberry passion fruit, strawberry sea moss, and a couple other more flavors that I may have forgotten. And I use only real fruits. I only use fruits, and I really really love. I'm the only one who produces it, and I produce a lot of juice. You know, during the summertime, I make between 300 and 500 juices almost daily. And in the wintertime, it's about half of that. And hopefully, inshallah, that it will get bigger, where I will not be able to. Where I could only oversee the making of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gallons, because I really believe that one day I'll be a household name, just like Tropicana, or better than Tropicana, or other names that we well known for their juices, Nantucket, etc.
I say. And that's why I want you to let us know the name of your company, where you are located, so that they can support. Do you have a
yes,
website or whatever, so that they can support? If they're not near you, they can still support.
Yes. If you go to Instagram, you can find my page, Akbar Originals, AKBARORIGINALS, all one word. And I do have a website, Akbar Originals, but it's down right now. It's being redone. If you want to contact me at Akbar Originals, you can call 267-602-5362, 267-602-5362. And I do have a GoFundMe account, because I'm working on getting another building and things of that nature, and it costs money. And unfortunately, I don't get all the business things that other people get, because I'm sure they don't even want me to make my juice, because they understand who I am better than I probably understand who I am.
Yeah.
So, if you want to support me in that way, you can go to GoFundMe, at Akbar Originals GoFundMe, and you can look up how I created the juice and why, and know a little bit more particular about it, and support that way.
All right. So, like you said, check him out on Instagram, Akbar Original Juices, so that you can support. I know that you are a father as well, and I am enjoying this conversation that I am having with you. I want you to give us some of your fatherly advice, because we're about to get ready to close it out. And I want you to give some advice to our youth, because I know you love the children, and the children are our future, right?
Yeah, no question.
We got to bridge that gap between them again. We got to get back to educating our babies, and our babies teaching us that we have to do this together. So give us a closing, and kind of talk to our children for me, and then you're always welcome. Thank you for giving us this time.
All right, thank you, and I appreciate you allowing me to add a time. But I want to say that what I would tell a child is the same thing I would tell an adult. Because listen, all of us out there, we have to begin to do whatever we can do. We have to begin to do whatever we can do. What we see wrong, find a way to make it right. That where our community need help in, help them. Learn to love each other. You have a lot of reasons to love each other and only a couple reasons not to like each other. You have a lot of reasons to love each other and only a couple of reasons not to like each other. Start loving you. And your neighbor is part of you. Start loving you. Because this is very important. We got to begin to love each other. And that's one of the things that they have with each other. Despite them not having a lot, they loved each other. They asked each other, they went next door, they could go next door and ask for some syrup. Because they really believed that they were one village. We have to become one village again. You are our future. Women, you are our future. How you are is how your child and children are going to be. You help build the next man. And you help build the next woman. So women, respect who you are and be the best who you can be. And help build this nation, because that's what we ultimately have to do. We have to build a nation. So help build this nation, and everybody begin to love each other and help in any kind of way that you can. Some people you can help with finances. Some people you can help with a letter, and that's another thing, that we got a lot of political prisoners in prison, and that's something that we should be working on. We have a lot of people who fought for us when we didn't fight for ourselves. We have a lot of people who fought for us when we didn't fight for ourselves. Now we got a chance to help them because they locked them away in these dungeons and said that they don't exist. Let's show these people that they exist. If you have money, send them money to help them out. And just send them a card and say, listen, I'm sending you this just to make it a little easier for you, because I respect and honor the choices you made to help us. You are the hero of our people. If you can't do that, send them a letter of support and just let them know you out here for them. And we appreciate what you've done. If you're a lawyer, go contact one of our political prisoners and do a motion for them for free, because of the sacrifices they made for us. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come on your show. Thank you for allowing me to say these few words. And I also want to say, like, we got to work on freeing our political prisoners. And we really need to work on that. Help someone in prison. Help one of our political prisoners. Don't let this month go by without you helping. Going to one of the websites like Jericho. And
Jericho Movement.
Yes, and looking
Jericho
up.
Movement.
Yes, and looking up the political prisoner. Choose one and say, I'm gonna do what I can for him. You know,
exactly.
People like my father who sacrificed their lives for us, just so that we could do the stuff that we call normal now. The stuff that we call normal they couldn't do. Just to be able to walk in a store and not have to go in the back of a store and be treated like a dog. They fought. They bled. They gave their lives and their time. They left their families in order for you to do just that, to go in a store and buy a sandwich. They couldn't go in the store and buy a sandwich. They had to go through the back door just to get something if they were allowed in there. You could walk up to any water fountain and just drink out of it. You could go on a bus, curse the bus driver out, and still get on the front seat. People sacrifice their lives, their time, their energy. Now you need to sacrifice yours and help all political prisoners. Free them all.
Free them all. Free the land. Exactly. Ashe. And we talk about this
constantly, because you can pick a political prisoner and make that commitment for the next 6 months, the next year. They need our help. We love you, Comrade. Thank you so very much for coming on today. Like I said, you're welcome anytime. We appreciate these jewels that you have dropped for us today. You have a great day. Thank you, family, for listening in. We've been with Brother Comrade Dadaji.
Here you go, Dadaji.
Y'all do it.
You gonna get it right.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it right. All right.
If you can say Michael right, you gotta be able to say Dadaji right.
Dadaji.
Yeah,
Comrade Dadaji. All right.
You're listening to Bantu FM.
By the people, for the people.